Hi guys, I'm Whitney from thehomeschoolclassroom.com, and today I want to share with you how to make the most out of your reading with a pre-reader or an early reader. My friend Carity is going to help me today, and after I show you what to do, I'll go ahead and explain things. Sound good? You ready? Okay. This is the book I've chosen. Take a look at the cover. Have you seen this before? It's called Polar Bear, What Do You Hear? Have you ever seen a polar bear before? You have? Where did you see one at?
At the zoo.
At the zoo? Was it recent? Did you just go to the zoo with your grandpa last week? Is that where you saw it? Or did you see it a different time at the zoo?
Different time.
A different time.
I think when I was 4.
Oh, okay. So it's been a little while, but you remember what they look like? All right. This book is written by Bill Martin Jr. and Eric Carle is the illustrator. He did all the pictures and all the artwork in here. So Bill Martin Jr. is the author, and he wrote the book. He wrote all the words we're going to read, okay? And Eric Carle did all of the artwork. He's the illustrator. There's a lot of pages before we get to the beginning, aren't there? Okay, let me get a little bit closer to you. Polar bear, what do you hear? I hear a lion roaring in my ear. Have you heard this book before? No? It rhymes, and so maybe that was why it was easy for you to guess. What's this animal?
The lion.
A lion. Lion, what do you hear? I hear a hippopotamus snorting in my ear. Did you see a lion at the zoo? Probably.
And a tiger.
And a tiger too? Oh, cool. Hippopotamus, what do you hear? I hear a flamingo fluting in my ear. Did you see a hippo at the zoo? No? Okay. Did you see a flamingo? Here we are at the flamingo, what do you hear? I hear a zebra braying in my ear. Zebra, what do you hear? I hear a boa constrictor hissing in my ear. Have you ever seen a boa constrictor? What kind of animal is a boa constrictor? You don't know? We're going to find out.
A snake.
A snake, you're right. Boa constrictor, what do you hear? I hear an elephant trumpeting in my ear. I bet you saw an elephant at the zoo, didn't you? You didn't? Oh, man. I saw an elephant at the zoo. Can you help me read down here when I do this? Elephant, what do you hear? Good job. I hear a leopard snarling in my ear. Very good.
I saw a leopard that time.
You did? Were they the white ones or were they the orangish yellowish ones? Just like the one on that page? Cool. Leopard, what do you hear? Good job. I hear a peacock yelping in my ear. You're doing a very good job reading. Peacock, what do you hear? I hear a walrus bellowing in my ear. Very good. Walrus, what do you hear? I hear a zookeeper whistling in my ear. Is a zookeeper an animal? No. Zookeeper, what do you hear? I hear children growling like a polar bear, roaring like a lion, snorting like a hippopotamus, fluting like a flamingo, braying like a zebra, hissing like a boa constrictor, trumpeting like an elephant, snarling like a leopard, yelping like a peacock, bellowing like a walrus, that's what I hear. Do you ever make animal sounds? Do you pretend you're an animal sometimes? I
A
believe
little
that.
bit.
A little bit, yeah, with your brother and your sister. Very good. Did you like that book? This author has lots of books. They've done several of them that are very similar. So if you like this one, you'll probably like some other ones too. Okay, maybe we'll read those a different time. So thank you for reading with me, and I'm going to explain to everybody at home what we did here, okay? So what we did was I chose a book that has very little text. It has a lot of pictures in it. And what the pictures do, as you noticed, was whenever we were reading, if Carity, when we read, I hear an elephant trumpeting in my ear, when we turned the page, there was a picture of an elephant. So because this has repetitive text and it was a pattern that we heard on every page, Carity could look at the picture, see that it was an elephant, and then she was able to recognize that and use it to solve this word. And then because we said, what do you hear? It was very familiar with her, and she felt very comfortable jumping in to read that along with me, even though she's never seen this before. The very first thing I did was mention that we were going to look at the cover of the book. So you want to mention that to your child, point out what the title is, who the author is, and the illustrator, and what those jobs are to them. I also asked Carity if she had ever seen this type of animal, or I tried to help her make some kind of connection with the book. So that's going to help with comprehension. She said, oh yes, I've seen a polar bear before. When we're reading, it will help jog her memory and allow her to make that connection and understand after she's done with the book, right? Very good. Also, one of the things that you want to do with an early reader or a pre-reader is choose the right books at the library. Any type of reading with your child will be effective, but when you go ahead and make the decisions to be very conscious about what you talk about, it will help them become better readers without actually having to sit down and kind of go through specific lessons. Some of the books that you might want to check out your library are ABC books. They had a whole shelf of them. I picked up several. This is one of it, that ABC Animal Jamboree. And in it, what I like when you pick different ones, they're all in different fonts. So the child will be able to recognize a letter F written like this, one that's written like this, and they differ from book to book. So you'll want to go ahead and pick a variety of those and allow your child to become comfortable with seeing the alphabet written in many different fonts. There are a lot of books that integrate math, so if you want to get something like Five Little Ducks, or I had some other ones, Fall Leaves, 1, 2, 3, things like that, that allows you to integrate and learn about math while also learning about reading. Do you like math? All right, you might like this book. Some of the things that you want to point out are picture books, and there's a lot of information in the pictures. There's not a lot of words on this page, but there's so much going on. And so the child can look at that, learn more about the story without actually reading the words. Also, as they begin to read, if they get stuck on a word, they look at the picture to try and solve that word and think about what makes sense. And on a different day, I will do a video that kind of mentions some of the techniques to help them solve those words. One of the other things I mentioned was doing books that rhyme and books that repeat so that the child feels comfortable. A lot of times parents don't realize, they get so frustrated that the kids say, you know, they can memorize the book and they don't even open it and they repeat all the words. Well, that's true, but one of the important things that you can do when you get to that point is understand that that is part of reading, where they get so comfortable you want to reread the same text over and over again. If you want to help them make that connection, you would maybe make one of these little pointers, and you can add anything you want on there. I did a purple leopard print. Is that cute? So I thought she would like that, but you can get some little plastic bugs and glue in the end, or creepy little fingernails some people use at Halloween. So go ahead and personalize it whatever way you want. But the child will use that to keep track of the words that they're doing, because there are so many words on the page that a beginning reader can put that on. If they get to the point where they've memorized the book, make them put this pointer underneath each word, look at it before they read it. That will help make that connection of looking at it and saying it instead of just memorizing it in their head without actually looking at the word and making that connection. So those are some tips to get your little reader started. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and leave a comment at thehomeschoolclassroom.com or head on over there. I will have links on where to get free printable books for early readers. I found a great website to do that, and I thank you for stopping by.